If you think you need to spend $500 at the dentist to get a Hollywood smile, you are being lied to. And if you think you need to buy those expensive whitening strips from the drugstore that slide around on your teeth and taste like bleach, you are wasting your money. I am going to show you how to create a professional grade whitening treatment in your own bathroom for less than $3. It uses two simple ingredients that you probably already have under your sink. But this video is not just about vanity. It is not just about looking good in photos. We're going to go much deeper. I am going to teach you about a hidden epidemic called leaky gums. You have heard of leaky gut? But leaky gums is actually more dangerous because it allows bacteria from your mouth to enter your bloodstream and travel directly to your heart and your brain. We are going to fix that today too. But first, let's talk about the color of your teeth. Why do teeth turn yellow? It is usually a stain from lifestyle, coffee, tea, red wine, or just the natural aging process where the enamel gets thin and the yellow dentin shows through. The standard solution is to go to the dentist. They put a plastic retractor in your mouth, paint a gel on your teeth, and blast it with a blue LED light. It works, but at a cost. They are using hydrogen peroxide, but they are using it at a concentration of 40%. That is industrial strength. When you put that much chemical power on your teeth, coupled with heat and light, you are aggressively dehydrating the tooth structure. That is why you get those zingers. You know that feeling, that sharp electric shock that shoots through your tooth later that night? That is your nerve screaming because the tooth is dehydrated and chemically burned. You do not need 40% peroxide to get white teeth. You need a low, slow, and safe chemical reaction that lifts the stain without killing the nerve. I found the ingredients at the local pharmacy yesterday. The first one was $1.79. The second one was $1.60. For less than the price of a latte, you can erase 10 years of coffee stains. Here is the exact recipe and the science behind why it works better than the strips. Go to the first aid aisle in the pharmacy. You are looking for a brown bottle. It must say hydrogen peroxide, and most importantly, it must say 3%. Do not buy the bottle online that says food grade 35%. That is industrial strength. If you put 35% peroxide on your gums, it will turn them white and burn the tissue immediately. It is dangerous. You want the mild, standard 3% solution. Here is the chemistry. The main ingredient in those expensive whitening strips is peroxide. Peroxide works by oxidation. It releases oxygen molecules that hit the enamel and physically snap the chemical bonds that hold the stain together. When you break the bond, the stain lifts, but we need a carrier for that oxygen. We need a physical polish. That is where the baking soda comes in. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is a salt. It has a very low abrasion score, meaning it is safe to scrub on your teeth without scratching the enamel off. Here is the exact ratio. Get a small glass or a ceramic bowl. Put in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Now, take your hydrogen peroxide. We are not pouring it in. We are using drops. Add just 3 drops of peroxide. Then add about 8 drops of plain water. Mix this with your toothbrush. You are looking for a paste consistency, like a wet sand. If it is too runny, add a pinch more baking soda. Scoop this onto your toothbrush. Now polish. Do not scrub aggressively like you are cleaning grout. Polish gently in circular motions. You will feel it fizzing. That foam is the oxygen being released. It is penetrating the microscopic pores of your enamel and pushing the coffee and wine pigments out. Brush for 1 to 2 minutes. Focus on the front teeth that show when you smile. Then, rinse your mouth thoroughly with water. Because this is a low concentration, you will not get that blinding white result in 1 hour. That is a good thing. It means your tooth is staying hydrated. Do this 2 or 3 times a week. By the end of the second week, you will look in the mirror and realize your teeth are 2 or 3 shades lighter, and you have 0 sensitivity. But whitening is only cosmetic. There is no point in having white teeth if they are falling out of your head because your gums are sick. We need to treat the foundation. We need to talk about an ancient Ayurvedic technique that pulls toxins out of the soft tissue. You might have seen this trend all over social media. People swishing oil in their mouths. It looks strange, but this is not a new fad. This is a 3,000-year-old Ayurvedic practice. Originally, they used sesame seed oil. But sesame oil has a very strong, bitter flavor that is hard for most modern palates to tolerate. That is why we use coconut oil. But why would you put oil in your mouth? Why not just use mouthwash? Here is the biology. Your mouth is a jungle. It is filled with billions of bacteria, fungi, and viruses. The primary bacteria that causes cavities and plaque is called Streptococcus mutans. Here is the key. These single-celled organisms are covered in a lipid membrane. That means their skin is made of fat. Basic chemistry tells us that oil and water do not mix, but oil and oil attract each other. When you use a water-based mouthwash, it just slides right over the fatty membrane of the bacteria. It doesn't grab them. But when you introduce oil, it acts like a magnet. The coconut oil adheres to the fatty skin of the bacteria. As you swish it back and forth, you are literally pulling the bacteria out of their hiding spots in the gum pockets and trapping them in the oil solution. Coconut oil is also unique because it contains lauric acid. Lauric acid is a medium-chain fatty acid that is proven to kill candida and yeast. So here is the protocol. Take 1 tablespoon of solid coconut oil. Put it in your mouth. It will melt instantly. Now swish. Push it through your teeth. Pull it back. You need to do this for a minimum of 10 minutes. Ideally 20. I know, 20 minutes sounds like a lifetime. Here is the hack. Do it while you are in the shower, or do it while you are folding laundry. If you just stand in front of the mirror, you will get bored and spit it out too early. As you swish, the oil will change. It will turn from clear to a milky white. This is emulsification. It is getting thick because it is loaded with plaque, toxins, and dead bacteria. Now, the most important rule. Do not swallow this. You have just spent 20 minutes gathering toxins from your mouth. You do not want to swallow that bacteria bomb back into your stomach. And do not spit it in the sink. Coconut oil hardens at room temperature. If you spit it in your drain, it will clog your pipes and you will have a very expensive plumbing bill. Spit it into the trash can. Rinse your mouth with warm water. Then brush your teeth. Your teeth will feel smoother than they have ever felt. It literally feels like you just had a professional cleaning. But even with white teeth and clean gums, you might still be bleeding when you floss. This brings us to a frightening condition called leaky gums and the surprising nutrient deficiency that causes it. Do me a favor. Go look at your toothbrush. Are the bristles pink? When you spit in the sink after flossing, do you see blood? We have been conditioned to think this is normal. We think, oh, I just flossed too hard. It is not normal. It is a sign that your body is falling apart. In functional medicine, we call this leaky gums. Your gums are not just pink skin. They are a tight, protective seal. They are designed to prevent the billions of bacteria in your mouth from entering your sterile bloodstream. When that seal is broken, when the tissue becomes loose and pocketed, those bacteria swim right into your blood vessels. They have found oral bacteria inside the plaque of clogged heart arteries. They have found oral bacteria in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. Your mouth is the gateway to your systemic health. So why are your gums bleeding? It is rarely because you didn't brush enough. It is usually a nutritional deficiency. It is a mild, modern-day version of scurvy. We think of scurvy as a disease for 18th century sailors who didn't eat oranges. But the mechanism is happening in your mouth right now. Your gums are made of collagen. Collagen is the glue that holds your cells together. To build collagen, your body requires vitamin C. Without vitamin C, the collagen breaks down. The glue dissolves. The tissue becomes spongy, weak, and it bleeds at the slightest touch. But here is the twist. You might be eating plenty of vitamin C, but you are also eating sugar. This is one of the most fascinating facts in human biology. Under a microscope, the molecule for glucose and the molecule for vitamin C look almost identical. They are chemically very similar. They both try to enter your cells through the same receptor sites. It is a competition, but your body, unfortunately, prioritizes sugar. If you have high blood sugar, or if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, that glucose clogs up the receptors. It blocks the vitamin C from getting into the cell. You could be taking a vitamin C supplement, but if you are eating a donut with it, the vitamin C is locked out. The result is that your gums starve, the collagen disintegrates, the seal breaks, and the bacteria invade. So, if you want to stop the bleeding, you don't just need to floss more. You need to cut the sugar. Let the vitamin C do its job. Let it rebuild the collagen matrix so your gums become tight, pink, and waterproof again. Now that we have stopped the bleeding and killed the bacteria, we have one final step. We need to repair the damage that has already been done to your enamel. We need to talk about remineralization and why your current toothpaste might be obsolete. For the last 50 years, we have been told that fluoride is the only way to prevent cavities. But there is a new standard in dentistry. It was actually developed by NASA for astronauts losing bone density in space. It is called nanohydroxyapatite. Your enamel is not made of plastic. It is not made of fluoride. It is made of 97% hydroxyapatite. It is a crystalline structure. When you eat acid or sugar, that structure dissolves. You get microscopic holes in your enamel. This is the beginning of a cavity. Standard toothpaste tries to patch this with fluoride, but nanohydroxyapatite is biomimetic. That means it mimics biology, because it is the exact same mineral your teeth are made of. Your body recognizes it. When you brush with it, the nanoparticles literally fill in the microscopic scratches and holes in your enamel. It rebuilds the tooth from the outside in. If you have sensitive teeth, this is the cure. Sensitivity is just open tubes in your enamel exposing the nerve. This paste plugs the tubes. So, look for a toothpaste that says nanohydroxyapatite. It is the future of oral care. But you cannot just build a house from the outside. You need to supply the bricks from the inside. This brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, vitamin K2. Most people take calcium for their bones and teeth. But calcium is dumb. It doesn't know where to go. If you just take calcium, it often ends up in your kidneys as stones or in your arteries as plaque. It calcifies your soft tissue. Vitamin K2 is the traffic cop. It activates a protein called osteocalcin. This protein grabs the calcium from your blood and physically carries it into the bone and the tooth structure. Without K2, the calcium is lost. With K2, the calcium builds bulletproof enamel. So, let's review your new oral health protocol. 1. The whitener. Use baking soda and 3 drops of peroxide to gently lift stains without burning your gums. 2. The detox. Swish with coconut oil for 10 minutes to pull bacteria from deep within the pockets. 3. The seal. Cut the sugar and up the vitamin C to produce the collagen that stops your gums from bleeding. And 4. The rebuild. Use nanohydroxyapatite toothpaste and take vitamin K2 to remineralize your enamel. You now have a system that is safer, cheaper, and more effective than anything you can buy at the drugstore. It is time to stop fearing the dentist and start taking control of your own health. If you learned something new today, please hit the like button. It helps us get this life-saving information out to more people. And tell me in the comments, have you ever tried oil pulling? Did you last the full 10 minutes? Keep smiling, and I will see you in the next video.